Chapter 16 of Judges holds the last account of the life of Samson. It's an ugly account. It starts off with him going down to Gaza once again, and this time he saw a harlot. And he wanted to have relationships with her. Samson was a very immoral man. His weakness was women, and he loved women. He could get women, and he did. A very immoral situation. And it was always with women of the unbelieving uh, Philistines around him. But people come and they know he's there with the harlot. And in verse 3, they find that they're going to try to kill him. But Samson just gets up, walks away, verse 3, with the doorpost and the city gate, and carries him all the way up to a mountain. He is so powerful, so strong, that there's nothing that can tame him. No one can defeat him. And so I think the Philistines are really at a loss of what they could do with this unbelievably powerful man. But what the Philistines could not do, a woman could do. And that is where we pick up on probably the best known story of Samson, and that is the story of him and Delilah. In verse 4, he falls in love with Delilah, another Philistine gal, and he loved her, it says in verse 4, but she loved money more. And so when the Philistines come to Delilah and say, look, we'll give you a bunch of money if you will find out why he is so strong and how we can tame him, Delilah jumped at the chance and pretended to love him, but she is turning now on him in an attempt to kill him. The story it's interesting how arrogant and proud and stupid Samson really is here. She says to him in verse 6, tell me where your great strength is, that I may bind you that you may be bound to afflict you. Well, that seems to be what is she doing here? I mean, why isn't he catching on already that this is not exactly somebody that loves him? But he plays the game and he says, well, verse 7, if you tie me with 7 fresh cords that have not been dried, then I'll be weak like other men, and you can afflict me. And so she does it. She binds him with that, and then she hollers out in verse 9, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. And he snaps the cords as if they were lit by torches or something. His strength was not discovered. Like he's playing a game here. Now, why wouldn't he catch on that Delilah is not his friend? But she goes right back at it. She complains that he lied to her, deceived her. And then he says, okay, bind me with new ropes, verse 11. If you do that, then I'll be like other men, and you can do whatever you want to with me. And so what does she do? Well, she binds him with new ropes, and then she hollers out the same thing. The Philistines are upon you, Samson. And he snaps the ropes as if they were threads. No big deal. And then she whines again in verse 13. You've deceived me and told me lies, she says. He says, okay, all right. Let's take my hair. This hair's never been cut. You weave it into a web, make it some kind of a permanent here, I don't know. And I'll be like other men, and you can afflict me. And so she does it. And in verse 14, the Philistines are upon you, Samson, again, and he pulls the webbing out and goes about his thing. Nothing has affected him at all. But he doesn't catch on some strange reason. And she says, and she goes to him and says, what, do you really love me, Samson? Really? You deceived me 3 times. Oh, well, sure, he's deceived her, and she deceived him. But he doesn't seem to be bothered. And she presses him to the place that he can't stand it any longer. Verse 16, and he finally tells her the truth. In verse 16, so he told her all that was in his heart and said to her, a razor has never come to my head, for I've been a Nazarite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaved, then my strength will leave me, and I will become weak and be like other men. Well, the reason why he said that, and I want to be clear, the strength is not in his hair, but it is in his Lord, his God, who has called him to be a Nazarite. By allowing his hair to be shaved, he is breaking all bonds with God, all dedication to the Lord. And the Lord is going to remove his strength. And so he tells her this. She has him fall asleep. She must have given him some kind of a sleeping pill or something. He sleeps on her knee, and she brings a man in to cut his hair off. And now he's lost his strength. And when she said in verse 20, the Philistines are upon you, Samson, all he thought was, I'll go out at other times, shake myself free. But he did not know the Lord had departed from him. What a sad statement. He did not know the Lord had departed from him. Samson, who had never lived a godly life and had been given supernatural strength by God's grace, doesn't know the Lord is not with him any longer. The Philistines take him. They gouge out his eyes. What an awful thing. They bound him with chains, put him in prison, make him a grinder of grain in the prison. It does say in verse 22 his hair began to grow out again. So I think this is an indication he does this for quite some time. One day they're having a feast, the Philistines are, to their god Dagon, verse 23, who's been given all the credit for capturing Samson. And they're having a good time. And there's a bunch of people here, verse 25, in high spirits, including a lot of the lords, a lot of the key leaders that are there. And they want Samson to be brought out to entertain them. Samson is brought out, a sorry mess, a defeated foe. And they put him between two of the pillars that hold up this temple to Dagon. And Samson finally calls out, verse 28, to the Lord and says, "Oh, Lord God, please remember me and please strengthen me just this one time, oh God, that I may be avenged for the Philistines for my 2 eyes." And he grabbed those pillars, pulled them apart, and the house came down. And he says, "Let me die with the Philistines," verse 30. And he bent with all of his might till the house fell on the lords, all the people who were in it. So the dead who were killed at his death were more than those who were killed in his life. He killed 3,000, apparently 3,000 Philistines at this time. And we believe, most likely, this was a time when he finally placed faith in God. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 32 said that he was a man of faith. At what point was Samson ever a man of faith? At what point did he ever act in faith? Apparently right here, when finally he turned from his own arrogance and he turned to God and he called on God to give him the strength to pull down these pillars. And God gave him that strength. And he died in that process, doing apparently the one act that honored God in his whole life, an act of faith. What a sorry sight, arrogant, proud man Samson turned out to be. May this be a good lesson to all of us. When God is blessing us and using us, may we never take the credit. May we always remember that it is God who receives the glory. Our arrogance only gets in the way. Our arrogance is deceptive and destructive.